to also lean backward to ensure that we improve and instill entrepreneurial skill to our upcoming professionals. We have also invited and registered over 100 pharmacy students in their 400 and 500 level across all the various faculty of pharmacy of Nigerian universities for free. And this is intended to ensure that we're able to carry them along in this our opportunity to improve entrepreneurial development among the professionals. And let me also mention that today, by virtue of this training, this academy is going to be running all the 4 Sundays of this month, and from 2 we are engaged in business every day of our life. So some of these topics are put together to ensure that many of us who are in this business or in any one business or the other, we are able to come up better in our engagement.
This great privilege and honor to be with you this afternoon. And I want to thank the management of Glenfort Academy for inviting me as a special guest of honor at this very important program. Very important in the sense that it's so dear to me. Why? Because it is part of what I call the Zoom solutions to issues before us. Before the pandemic, nobody knows what Zoom is all about. But by the time Zoom came up, by the time the pandemic came up, we now have started having Zoom. What that is telling us is that as an entrepreneur, you should be ready to provide solutions at any given time. You should always think ahead. And with this academy, the academy is also thinking ahead. We just have to have a paradigm shift in how we do our things. There are some knowledge you need to acquire outside the faculty. And this is a great opportunity which I want to say on behalf of Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, we appreciate it. We recommend it to everyone, and we believe that this academy will go a long way to fill the gap between the knowledge acquired in the faculty and the knowledge they are supposed to acquire when they come out of school. Because most of our students, by the time they come out of school, they tend to behave as if they are coming out from the moon, and they don't know what exactly is happening outside there. I want to quite appreciate what the management is doing, and I believe that this dream must not die, this vision must not die, and it should outlive all of us because of the essence of getting these children while they are young. I have just one message to give to them, and that is the issue of management and leadership, because that is the backbone of any entrepreneurial exercise, even in public and private organizations. The other day I was reading about Dangote. Dangote told us that it took him 30 years to become the richest man in Africa. But our children these days want to be rich overnight. Within 1 year or 2 years, they want to be Dangote of their field. So it is this academic activity is so apt that we need to catch them young, so that we direct and redirect their focus, so that they don't get lost along the line. They don't get carried away along the line. And management and leadership, as we know, are two distinct entities that must be well understood for organizational growth. And while management is all about getting things done, leadership is all about creating vision. And leadership and management, I always tell my staff, there are two components of it. It could be a process activity, and it could be a personality activity. And that's where the major mistake is, when some of our colleagues cannot separate their personality from their business, and it tends to merge the two together, and in the process they get into trouble. So we need to get it right and get it well understood at that critical stage of their lives. As they are stepping out, they should understand that management and leadership of a business has to be different, distinct. Processes is different from the personality. And when you look at it from the personality point of view, within the context of what we are discussing, you will find out that the perspective of a personality such as chief executive of an organization or managers in the flow of a business should be separated from the processes of the business. If it is not well separated, as I said earlier, we'll run into trouble. And we notice that some of these chief executives whose action or inaction have great impact on that process. And those processes that are geared towards achieving organizational goals. So if the leadership is not well groomed, definitely the processes of managing any business will collapse. There's no two ways about it. So we should learn to separate ourselves from our business. As I always tell people, leadership as regards business can be likened to an egg. The force from inside the egg will produce life, while the force outside the egg will produce death. So as an individual, as a personality, there are certain specific things you must imbibe in you to give you that force to be able to break forth. If those ideas, those concepts, those skills are not, individuals are not well grounded about it, when they enter into the business landscape, within few days or few years, they get into trouble. And that's why I'm so happy about this academy. It's going to give us those ideas, going to enrich these youths, that as they are coming, they should be well equipped.
What is leadership? Like, I would like to summarize based on the fact that I am a student of great leadership expert, John Maxwell, that says leadership is influence. Leadership is not title like most of us will look at. I've been opportune in my career to occupy various titles, positions, and even in my spiritual life to be in pastoral role in the past. And I've realized that there is a big difference between title, positions that we occupy, and what is called leadership. Leadership necessarily doesn't have to be the position. There are several schools of thought of definition of leadership. We can look at it from the perspective of an organization leadership, the CEO, the founder, an explorer that is leading, political leaders, religious leaders. But I would like to give us in a nutshell what I have learned over the past 25 years thereabout that I've been in leadership position as a fair definition for leadership. And that to me is captured in some of the lessons you've seen on the world. And leadership is the capacity to influence, and I would like us to underline the word influence. Influence others through inspiration generated by a passion, motivated by a vision that is birthed by conviction and produced by a purpose. And there are very big words that have come. We have talked about leadership as an influence. It's through inspiration, generated by passion, motivated by vision, and there is a level of conviction and purpose. So it's necessary for a leader to be genuine. There are true leaders and there are leaders by title. And I want us to focus our understanding today on true leaders. Anyone can bear the title of a leader, but leadership is beyond the title. I've been in an organization in the course of my career where I had a big title, but I realized there is a leader within the organization that people listen to. And to ensure that I deliver on my objective, I needed to walk through that leader. So leader can be on early level of the organization. So if you let us start from the bottom, true leader is produced by process. It is not a thing that suddenly become effective in one day. There is a process to becoming a leader. And a leader must be very clear in terms of the purpose. Many years ago, when I was preparing my CV for big role, I had to summarize the whole of my expectation and my acts under one heading. I said I was a trained pharmacist, business practitioner with a passion for quality drug distribution. And where did I get that from? One of the biggest problems in our contemporary Nigeria pharmaceutical business today is the fact that the quality of drug that was in our distribution channel. And that has been a drive that I've been pursuing in my career. So there has to be a purpose, original intent of the leader. And you must be very convinced, believe in the significance of that. So if you don't have a purpose and you are not convinced about that purpose, then you cannot drive a vision very well in terms of what is most effective in any situation. There is no one fits all style of leadership. You could find yourself in a situation where you have lead as employee or direct reports that all you need to provide for them is a direction to go. All you need to do is to coach, to support them, to delegate for them. So let me use this framework to further bring it clearly to us. The framework that talks about the supportive behavior and the directive behavior that talks about it. For leaders, people that you're going to be delegating. And what that means is that you are going to be entrusting into their hands very important and vital tasks. You need to give a low support, but they must have a very low level of directive behavior. So for you to be able to do that, you need to have a big trust in them. It has its own advantage and disadvantages because you need to be sure that those that you are delegating authority to can deliver for you. And there are level of people that you need to provide for them support, whereby you need to carry them in their hand. And in supporting them, you either do it for them to see it, allow them to do it, and you observe them, and you also observe them training others. In that way, you are supporting them to begin to move into the realm of a coaching leader. So if you are doing a coaching approach, it is a very high level whereby you are providing a very high support and giving a very high level of direction to the people. All the various types, believe me, there is no one better than the other, but it's purely situation dependent. Whether you are deploying the delegating style, the supporting style, the coaching style, is purely depend on the situation that you are confronted with. But the objective here is just to let us know that there are different styles of leadership. But when you look